welcome back. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for joining me today. I want to talk about something that I'm excited about. I know I say that almost every time I get on these internets, but I'm excited about this because it's something that I think will help a lot of people. It's something that you could be interested in. Maybe you're in a situation where you actually want to experience budget travel that is also economical, and you hear a lot of people talk about credit card points and using points and this credit card combined with that loyalty program and how you get this free trip. However, if you're in a situation where you don't have access to credit cards or you don't want to use credit cards, some of that advice can be like, well, that doesn't really apply to me. Is there a chance for me to really save money and experience budget travel? And I want to tell you that yes, there is definitely an opportunity to do so. And just a little bit of background on why I'm making this video. First off, some of you may or may not know that I came to the internet about 10 years ago because I paid off all this debt. I got out of over $120,000 worth of debt. And then about 5 years ago, I went back into debt because I had a really bad divorce. I was pretty much a stay-at-home mom with some side gigs, but in this particular situation, I didn't want to haggle over things. I didn't want to fight over things. So I just pretty much left my fair share. And for a few years, ended up financing my life for credit cards. Fortunately, I'm digging out, so I'm excited about that. But in the meantime, I'm also looking for ways to travel inexpensively. And I think another little tidbit you should know about my background is that I'm also a personal finance writer. And I spent a lot of time writing about how to use credit cards to kind of hack your way to budget travel. And I covered how to use the point system, how to sign up for loyalty programs, combine those together, how to get certain tiers of status, platinum status, gold status, all these different ways that you can use credit card points. And I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to do that right now because I'm trying to get out of debt. So I want to remove that temptation. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are in my same shoes. So I thought, why not make a video about some of the things that I'm aware of and the ways that I've made travel more economical despite not using credit card points like I once used to. So before I talk about how you too can take advantage of budget travel without breaking the bank or using credit cards to make it happen, let's take a quick moment to hear a message from one of the channel sponsors. If you're a digital nomad or like me, spend lots of time traveling, listen up. What I'm about to tell you will change your life. Introducing Genki, the ultimate health insurance for world explorers just like you. Imagine roaming the globe without a care, knowing you're covered for any medical emergency. From scooter mishaps to tropical illnesses, Genki's got your back. With instant sign up and quick claims, you can focus on your adventures, not paperwork. Don't let health worries hold you back. Choose Genki and travel with confidence. To get your free quote, just screenshot the QR code that you see here or check out the link in the description below. Okay, so I'm just gonna rattle through these. Hopefully you can keep up. I'm gonna try not to be verbose and make this video too long. So the first thing I want you to know is that you can actually still sign up for different loyalty programs even if you don't use credit cards. So for example, pretty much any travel brand you can think of, airlines, hotels, car rental companies, they actually have points programs or rewards programs that you can stack up points without using your credit card. You simply spend money with them. And more often than not, these loyalty programs also have alternate ways for you to rack up points. For example, Southwest has a program, I think it might be called like the Dining Club, Dining Rewards. I can't remember the exact terminology. And FYI, I am always going to connect this video with a blog post. So if I trip over my words or I'm not making things clear, you can check out the very clear version in the description below where I will provide a link to that. And you can just run through everything I talked about in the video in like a really quick, concise, very organized way. So anyway, back to the Southwest example, you can go to an approved list of restaurants, which there are a lot of restaurants on the list. I've used it before. And if you connect that to a card that you connect your loyalty program to, then you are able to earn rewards that way. And then there's also like shopping credit card or loyalty programs have websites where you can shop and earn points. And obviously, if you're going to book some airline tickets with Southwest, or you're going to get a hotel room with the Marriott, that is a way to earn points as well. So there are so many loyalty programs that you can use without credit cards. I'll definitely link those in the blog post related to this video, but that is a way you can start earning rewards and you don't even need a credit card. So the next thing I want you to know is that you can sign up for especially curated email lists that talk about travel deals. Now, going back to, I just talked about the loyalty programs. Many times when you sign up for those loyalty programs, you'll also get on those email lists. So for example, one time I got a flight with JetBlue from Puerto Rico to St. Thomas. I think it was $39. And the way I found out about that is just by being on the email list. So make sure when you sign up for those loyalty programs, you get on those email lists. There are other curated email lists that talk about good deals, packages. For example, Scott's Cheap Travel was one, and I believe now they're called Going, and I'll put a link to that below. And if you tell them which airport you usually fly out of, then they will send you recommendations for inexpensive flights. And there are some premium membership options as well, so you can be a free user or you can get a little bit extra, probably more refined recommendations, and maybe even add more probably get some more refined recommendations, and you can probably add one or more airports to fly out of. But I'll put a link below so you can kind of check out the membership tiers and choose one that works for you. So I'm going to talk about something that is definitely not a secret anymore, but signing up for short-term vacation rental homes like Airbnb, VRBO, there are still deals to be had. And what I like about those platforms is that you can actually communicate with hosts and you can negotiate and ask for discounts. So I know that there's been like a little bit of a stigma affiliated with some of these services, but I think it's still a great option depending on your travel needs and circumstances. So this next category of budget travel accommodations, I'm going to lump like all together because there's so many services that kind of come under this umbrella. So there's this idea that you can exchange some work for travel accommodations, for lodging, that is. So for example, I'm thinking about, I think it's called World Packers, yes. So you can sign up for like volunteer programs, and the things that you can do are all over the board. I think Workaway is also another one. And again, if I don't remember the names exactly, I will definitely put them in the post so you don't miss anything. But the idea is that you can do some work in exchange for lodging, sometimes room and board. Maybe you'll work on a farm, maybe you'll help paint an orphanage. There are a lot of different things that you can do. And many times you don't even have to pay anything, or if you do, it will be really inexpensive. So that's a way to finance your travel habit, using some of these alternative lodging arrangements. And the other types of platforms that come to mind include house sitting, pet sitting services. There is also one that I've used before, Home Swap. Now with Home Swap, you don't work, but you can actually exchange homes with people all around the world on the platform. There's over 200,000 listings that you can choose from. And if you click the link below, you'll be able to get some points based off of my affiliate link. So go ahead and click that, sign up for the service. It's free, and then you can pay for a membership to get a little bit more benefits on that platform. But I've used it and I've gotten great accommodations with that. The other thing that you can do, and some of these things you're gonna have to use some wisdom with. There is, I believe it's still a website, couch surfing. You can even go into Facebook groups, and sometimes they're labeled like host a sister traveler or host a fellow XYZ traveler. You can make connections there. Again, safety first, you all. Use extreme caution. And if you're traveling with other people, big groups, maybe small kids, these probably won't be really good for you. But if you're adventurous, they can be ways to find cheap lodging when you're traveling abroad. So before I go on to the next tip, let's take a moment to hear from one of the channel sponsors. If you're not using Home Exchange, you're missing out. Imagine traveling the world, staying in unique homes and saving money. With over 200,000 members in 155 countries, Home exchange is a revolutionizing travel. Experience authentic local living, make new friends, and create unforgettable memories. I recently used the home exchange platform to score a great condo in St. Thomas Virgin Islands, just steps away from Sapphire Beach. Then I vacationed like a local by getting a spacious, well-equipped home in a peaceful neighborhood that was perfect for my family's Eastside Island tour in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Offer the low cost of a nominal annual membership and cleaning fees for each stay. The best part is that I can use guest points or swap homes with many others who also happen to be Airbnb hosts, which typically means a clean, professional vacation home. Screenshot the QR code that you see below or click the link in the description to create your free account so you can start earning points for free stays or swapping homes with others all around the world on the Home Exchange platform. Don't just visit a destination, live it. Join Home Exchange today and unlock a world of possibilities. So this other option appeals to me because I recently got interested in sailing and I thought it would be neat to learn how to sail a sailboat and maybe even live aboard for a few months out of the year. So there are websites that can connect you with people that have boats and they're looking for crew, they're looking for a skipper, a co-captain. I don't know all the words for, the people that crew the ship, but they're looking for people to help man the ship. Alternatively, maybe you have a boat and you need people to help you because I understand it takes like work, effort, energy, and you need all hands on deck, pun intended, to make the sailing life work. So that is one option. Again, use extreme caution. There are Facebook groups that are also dedicated to matching crew and captains, and it can be a way to reduce your lodging expenses. For example, if you want to go sailing in the Caribbean or in the Philippines or wherever, there are people that have boats all over the world, and you can stay for as long or as little as you want, depending on what the boat owners are looking for. So another thing that you can do is actually live on a resort. I've been to the Dominican Republic a few times, and that place is just full of resorts like other islands in the Caribbean, but I just am pretty familiar with the Dominican. And you can actually get a job in a resort and live there. Now, I don't have a lot of details about that, but there are people that do it, and it is a viable way to, again, finance your desire to travel around and live in different countries and places. So the other thing that you can do is you can actually work for a company that is 100% travel and that goes into the areas of the world that you're interested in exploring. I have met people like this. Maybe they're consultants or they work in HR, but they basically have a W-2 job, and this job requires them to travel all around. Now, if you can get something based in Europe, then you'll get to pretty much go all over Europe, of course, depending on the job, depending on the company. But I've met people who this is their life and it helps satisfy their desire to travel. So that's one way to do it. So I don't know how easy it is to get jobs like this, but I understand it's definitely possible, and where there's a will, there's a way. So the other thing you can do, and I'm not promising this is easy, is you can become a property manager. So there are apartment complexes that hire property managers. Sometimes they're called community managers, and they actually live on site. So the only caveat is I don't know how easy this would be to do if you're going somewhere where you need a work visa, because that can be kind of expensive for a company to go through that process or sponsor that process for you. However, I'm sure there are situations where maybe you're an English speaking person and you want to live somewhere, let's say in Malaysia, and there is an apartment complex for expats or people who are relocating for work, and they just really need an English speaking property manager, and voila, conceivably, if you have property management experience, you can live on site. And I bring this up because I actually know people who are property managers and their living expenses are fully covered because they live on site. So if you can do that here in the States, you can probably do it in other parts of the world. You just have to find the right position that's for you. So the other thing that you can do, and again, these are probably in order from the easiest thing to the hardest thing to do, is you can buy property in some place that you frequent and just let that be your base whenever you go to that country. If you or in my case, I live in Puerto Rico, and I got this place because I imagined that I would be coming here often. Now, for the moment, I've been living here, but eventually when I move, I'll be coming here and I'll have a base, where I won't have to like pay for a hotel or Airbnb. And I know I'm just making that sound so easy, like, oh, you could just buy property, but I will tell you that I've been able to get property in Puerto Rico, and I'm actually getting a condo built in the Dominican Republic. So that is a strategy that I believe in because it helps you to build your assets up, build your wealth, and you have a cool place to vacation. This strategy again may not be the easiest, and it's not for everyone, because in some of these places it may not make sense to just buy property, especially if you don't think you're going to go that much, and the vacation rental market may be a little saturated or not as strong. So make sure that you evaluate this option and it's really going to make sense for you and your financial goals. All right, you all, that's all I have today. Hopefully this video was helpful and it just kind of dropped some ideas in your mind about how you can travel even if you don't use credit cards or credit card points. I really appreciate your viewership. I'm so glad you're able to join me today, and I'll catch you in the next video.